the debugging walkthrough for the activity debugging letter search. So at the top here we have our starter code, followed by the debugging tips, which you guys should have a read of, especially the Comp 1511 debugging guide. And here we have the task. So the exercise takes in 2 strings as input, calculates if they're equal, and prints out the result. Currently it has some issues and it's our job to figure them out and fix the code. And here we can see an example. So we print, enter the first string and take input from the user. Then we print, enter the second string and take input from the user. And then we print whether the strings are equal or not. So in this case they are equal, and in this case they are not. And finally at the bottom here we have our style check command and our auto test command. So let's fetch the starter code and start the activity. Okay, so this is what we've got. Immediately there's no incorrect syntax highlighting, so let's compile to see if we can find any issues. Debug. Okay, cool. So we get some warnings about scanning in our strings and the comparison of our strings. So we do know we shouldn't be using scanf. Just for example's sake, let's run our code anyway and ignore the warnings. So we can see that it does not work as expected. So I think we should fix up these warnings. So instead of scanf, we should be using fgets. So let's do that. String 1 max size from standard input. And let's do that for both string 1 and string 2. And let's recompile and see if it's happy now. So it looks like there's still a warning on the comparison of our strings, but let's check that our fgets works. So things are scanning incorrectly, but the strings are still not equal. So when we're comparing strings, we actually shouldn't be using the equalities operator. Instead, we should be using the string compare function. So let's just have a look at that. String compare and see. And it's in the standard library. So we can see it takes in a string 1 and a second string. And it returns 0 if the strings are equal. And then, I guess, like not 0 if the strings are not matching. And we can see a sample implementation of it here. So let's use the string compare function instead. So let's go string compare between string 1, string 2, and the strings are equal. So we know that from this function, if the strings are equal, we return 0. So let's do that. And yeah, this should work now. Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. So it says we're implicitly trying to use the function string compare. And we're calling the function, but it does not recognize it because we've forgotten to hash include the string library. So let's put the string library in, because that's where string compare exists and is defined. There we go. Seems to be happy. Hello. Hello. Cool. It looks like it's working as expected. Let's try it with these. Nice, that looks good. Let's check the different case. And I guess like a little bit longer of a string. Cool, looks like it's working as expected. Let's run auto test. Oh, something is going wrong. Oh, it seems like there should be the in front of these. So let's fix that up. Okay, so how I knew there was the missing is because it was telling me it broke on this print statement, and we can see that the correct line of output was the strings are not equal, whereas mine output strings are not equal. So that was an easy way to tell. And it seems like all the tests passed. So before we are done, let's check our style, if we have any style to fix. And it looks like we need to fix our header comment. So this program was written by Sphere Developers and my ZID. on, let's just say June of 2023. Cool. And let's rerun style. And that looks good. So that's the final solution for the debugging letter search activity.